You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation collecting nerds, and come on, won't you stay with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world, and show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Gonna talk to guests when we got the best. Gonna put their knowledge to the test. Gonna laugh and meet, gonna live the dream, gonna show you things you've never seen. Gonna sing a song to the break of dawn. Gonna rock this party all night long. So come on everybody, let me see you dance. Get yourself ready, you got one more chance. You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation collecting nerds, and come on, won't you sing with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world, and show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Yay.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Season 2, Episode number 15 of the PlayStation Collectors Podcast. And tonight, we welcome back AJT and Forrest to the show for a JRPG special. Welcome, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey guys,
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. Thanks for coming.
thanks again, guys.
Really good to see you guys again. It's been a couple of weeks since we've seen you, Forrest, and AJ, it's been about a month since we've seen you.
Yeah, about that.
So, AJ, what have you been up to, man?
To be honest with you, man, I've been trying to actually sit down and play a bunch of the games that I own, and I've also been kind of consolidating my collection down a little bit. Been kind of trying to get it. Apologies. I was very much focused on buying anything that looked cool. In the past, I would say month, 2 months, I've been really slimming it down just to get the stuff I really want to play. So that's what I've been mainly up to.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
nice. I've been doing similar things, so I definitely feel you there. What about yourself, Forrest? What have you been up to since we've seen you, man?
Right now, just been working a lot. But other than that, the only game I really been focused on was finishing up Final Fantasy 16. Doing all the side quests in that. I did do the main story. Then also actually had a Gran Turismo on the list. I was going back to playing Gran Turismo 4. I've actually been meaning to get every car in that game. There's over 600 cars. I think I'm at 347. It's been like I've always wanted to get every car in one Gran Turismo game. I figure 4 is my favorite Gran Turismo game, so I've been working on that one. And last thing was playing Blacksmith of the Sand Kingdom on PS5. I've been doing the alchemy hunting in that one, so that's what I've been playing recently.
Nice, man. That Gran Turismo 4 journey sounds tough because I put hundreds of hours into that game, and I think I didn't even hit 50%. There's some 24-hour races that you have to finish.
Yeah, there's one where you literally have to like non-stop up for like over a day to play through real time. It's like that's crazy they even put that in the game, to be honest with you.
And then this is before the days of trophies, so like people didn't have to go for 100%. It was only the real hardcore that did it. But
you didn't feel bad by the fact that if you finished the game, you know what I mean, or if you didn't complete it completely, you know what I mean. Like today, you got trophies showing otherwise. So, yeah.
Yeah, good luck on that, Jody. I'd love to watch if you ever came to stream it one day.
I may try to record a couple of. You know what? Dang, you make me challenge myself. I may have to just. We'll see what happens. I can't guarantee anything. We'll see what happens.
It'll be a 24-hour stream and it'll be one race.
Oh my god, dude! That you know what? Just for the hell of it, I might try to plan one day out just to see if I can make that happen. I'm not gonna lie. If I get tired, I'll be like, I'm done. I'll just turn the game off and be like, I'm done.
Just crash and blow your car off.
Like,
oh well, whatever. That's good. What about yourself, Joe? What have you been playing, man?
So I finally got my headset back from Sony for my PSVR 2 headset. So of course I'm back into the Beat Saber. I'm doing that like every day, but like an hour or two a day, and getting pretty good at it, man. I'll be honest with you. I'm getting pretty good at it, but I'm addicted to that, so I'm gonna keep going with that till the wheels fall off, till I break another headset. Basically, hey, look, it's me saying evening.
So what was the experience in having to return the PSVR? How long did it take, and how did you feel the process went?
It wasn't that bad. I had to the hardest part is getting him on the phone. You have to sit there for like 45 minutes to an hour to get a human being to even talk to you. So that part's kind of annoying. But once I got them on the phone, it really wasn't that bad. For PSVR 2, it was a little weird because like all the troubleshooting tips the person had were for PSVR 1. So they were completely useless. They're like, okay, check the cables on the box. I'm like, there's no box. What are you talking about? And they're like, oh yeah, this is the new one. Then they were just like, all right, whatever. I was going to send you a box. Send it to us. I was like, okay. And I sent it to them and they just sent me a refurbished one, no questions asked. It was quick and painless for the most part, but I don't think they're going to take the time to actually repair most of them. I just think they just ship you another one for the most part, but it wasn't bad. But I am a little concerned though, because the one that I got as a replacement, like twice now, randomly, the left eye has just gone black, and I've had to like shut it off and turn it back on to make it come back on. That's not a good sign. So I might just call them and be like, send me another one that doesn't do that, just because that makes me nervous. I mean, they're very, very expensive. That's the thing. It's if they were like $200 and they broke, I wouldn't be that upset. But they're $550, and that's a lot if they're not working. Like I don't want to buy another one if it breaks. I'll be pissed. So.
And you're using it every day too. It's not like you bought it to use it once a month or anything.
Correct. I use it every single day for like an hour, and I have to clean it all the time and everything because it's nasty. Because if you play Beat Saber on Expert Plus, it gets real nasty real quick. Let me tell you.
But in terms of what Sony should have made, is they should have made the PSVR 2 with in terms of the mind of a customer that is going to be using it every day, not someone that will be using it once a month. So like, like when they do a car, they want to test it to 1,000,000 kilometers and things like that. You want to be able to get your 1,000, 2,000 hours out of this device, not just 50 hours or 100 hours.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And it's just the design of it. I don't know. You're putting a lot of faith in a USB-C connection. That's all I'm saying. That's like the whole thing runs off that little tiny plug, the entire headset. And I'm just like, all it takes is my dog running by and smashing that thing once. And then either that's broken or the PS5's broken. And there goes the headset. So I don't know. I feel like it should be a better connection than that. Like a sturdier, more reinforced connection, at least. I mean, it should be wireless. Let's just be real. But
yeah,
it is what it is. So. But I love it. I mean, I don't want to poo-poo it. I love my PSVR 2. I play with it all the time. It's awesome. So
I've always wanted to get one. I have the space to be able to use one, but it's a lot of money, and then I have to really consider investing in it if I do. So I just haven't made the plunge yet on it.
You got to be enthusiastic about it. And I would also highly suggest, if you've never used it before, to try out somebody's else if you can, to see if you're one of those people who just gets insane motion sickness, because I've heard there's just so many people who cannot handle the motion sickness at all. So before you spend $550,
that's one of the reasons I haven't. Yeah, because I just it's one of those things where if I run across a good deal on one, I'll get it. Even if I get motion sickness, it's a cool thing to have regardless. But whenever that time comes, I'll look into it.
There's also like different games that will like more likely give you motion sickness, and then like Beat Saber probably won't. But if you're like playing Rush of Blood, where you're on a roller coaster, yeah, that probably.
Or like say Resident Evil, Resident Evil 8.
So the Resident Evil games, I'd say that more comes down to whether or not you use the click turning or the motion turning. If you use the click turning, it's not so bad. But if you use the motion turning, you might have that problem. Gotcha. So I don't know, because I don't get it at all. I've never had that issue. I've never had to take Dramamine when I go on boats. I never get seasick. I don't get sick in the car.
Yeah, I don't get sick on boats or anything.
I've never had any motion sickness problems in my life ever. So I don't know what that's like. But
I know my aunt. She gets motion. If she's in the passenger seat and she's not driving, she gets sick. She has to drive. So it's yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So Joe, I got motion sickness the first time I used PSVR, but I played a game that was in space, flying in a spaceship for an hour.
That will do it.
Actually, when I think about it, the only game that actually made me sick when I played it was Need for Speed Underground due to the motion blur in that game being so extremely high. That
I
actually
love
made
that
me
game.
sick. That game actually still makes me sick. I have to like play it very, a little bit at a time because it's the motion blur is so bad.
Gotta get Rivals on PSP. Shrink it down, you'll be fine.
Mm.
So other than that, I've been playing Moving Out 2. I don't know if you play Moving Out, if you like that game, or like Overcooked or
I've
anything
heard
like that.
really good things about it. Yeah.
It's fun. Yeah, and I like the first game, so we picked up the second one. We've been playing that.
Is it sort of like a management simulator type game?
No, not at all. It's literally like a co-op game where you have to move furniture into a truck. Like, so you go into someone's house and there's like all these pieces, like all these items, and you have to load them on the truck, and then you have to do it as fast as you can. And then they'll have like a bunch of challenges where it's like, they're like, don't break stuff, don't use these doors, don't. So there'll be all these little challenges that you can do, and it's like co-op, and it's just like Overcooked, where like you play until you start fighting with each other, and then you're like, all right, that's enough of this game for the day. And that's how it always ends. That's how it always ends. It's like everyone's having fun, and all of a sudden everyone's screaming at each other. It's like, okay, well, let's watch something on TV.
Like the video game version of Monopoly.
Yeah, that's always a good time. So playing that a lot, and then I'm trying to think what else have I been playing. Definitely some other stuff too, but I can't even think of it. I play so much crap. I got the Steam Deck, bro, so it's all a blur. I've been playing like every Nintendo game on Earth. I don't know. Yeah, dude, it's been fun.
I started a new game this week. I started on Friday, and I've got 24 hours into it already. It's called Starfield. You might have heard of it. I'm not going to give any spoilers away if you haven't played it, just FYI. But I'm 24 hours in, and I'm loving it. I'm playing on a PC that was on the lower end of the requirements for the game. It was like basically the lowest graphics card. The game struggled with conversations. So I talk to someone, and it takes a second to get the words to come out of their mouth. But the gameplay is really good. I've crashed 8 times. I'm keeping track of that. But yeah, overall, like I can't wait to get back in and play it. Like I'm sacrificing sleep to play it. Just takes me back to 2011 playing Skyrim for the first time. Yeah, absolutely blown away. So if you're on the fence about picking it up, it's amazing.
It's good to see Microsoft finally has a game out that people are excited about. So
for sure.
I'm happy to hear that.
I don't want to give anything away, so it's hard not to talk about it. But like,
right. I mean, I'm not saying I may like it, but just in a general sense of people discussing the game, I'm actually pretty pleased with hearing that people are liking it. That positive aspect to a game release for a company that hadn't had in a lot of good releases in a little while. It's good to see Starfield's really giving some push to Microsoft.
We want Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft to all be making great games.
Right. At the end of the day, you don't want to
genuine reason to buy a Series S. I could say to someone, you should buy a Series S because you can play this and you can have a great experience.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm debating on buying one to play Starfield myself. So.
Yeah, there you go. You can get a Series S for under $200 now, I believe, and it's on Game Pass, so you don't really need to buy the game.
Me personally, I won't get a console, but I'll play it on my PC. Yeah,
and if you've got a PC, that's the way to go. And a lot of people who are hardcore into Sony collecting will have PCs as well. So.
Yeah, that's really where if I'm going to play a Microsoft game, I'll just play it on PC if I really want to play it. Yeah.
I'll just say a few more things because I have talked it up a lot. Like, it's not a perfect game. There's a lot of bugs here, getting booted, and like slow loading screens, which is probably my computer. I've noticed like a few locations are repeat locations. But then when you've got a game that's got 1,000 planets, I guess that's expected. But overall, like, my experience is absolutely blown out of the water. Mm-hmm. Crazy. It's up there with my experience playing Elden Ring or Tears of the Kingdom for the first time, which is crazy.
That's cool. So are you sticking to like the main linear quest, or are you doing a lot of side quests, or how are you handling it?
So the way I play RPGs, I don't look anything up. I just do everything myself. I don't do anything in order. If I see something, I'm like, ADHD. Oh, there's a shiny thing over there. I go to that, and then first, and yeah. So I love looting. I loved Rust. So I've like built a base, and I just like keep getting all my items and putting them in order, and like I love that part of the game. I love that in Skyrim, and like the loot management in this game is insane. You can build bases anywhere in any planet. Like it's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Dude, I remember spending hours and hours like arranging all the books and skulls and stuff in my house in Skyrim, like just hours and hours making it look cool, dude. So I definitely know what you mean. Like
I'm picking up all the books so I can make a library in my house.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
and I'm into collecting, and you have like the different volumes, and I'd be after certain volumes trying to fill
But it
in the
does
sets and
prove
stuff.
it does
Oh,
prove
man.
how why it took so long for them to make this game. There's just so much content in it.
yeah. I've played No Man's Sky. Okay, I played it when it first came out, but Starfield just first came out, so I feel it's a fair comparison comparing the two games when they first came out. I know No Man's Sky is an amazing game today, but I played it when it first came out, so my experience is that, and the experience I'm getting in Starfield is like I mentioned a few locations feel similar, but no planets feel similar. Like no moons. It will, I'm sure, but at 25 hours in, everything feels new. I keep landing in locations and I keep getting blown away. I did something yesterday that I've done in other video games before, but this was the best experience I ever had doing this one thing. I'm not going to say what it was, but and I did not expect this one thing to be
Space
in
fishing.
But
that'd be cool.
Blew my mind out. There's games out there that would just have this one thing in mind, and Starfield did it better. It blew my mind out.
Yeah.
So.
It's great hearing such positive things coming from the community about Starfield, considering how well Bethesda, their last few games haven't been reviewed as well as their previous ones. It's great to see them going back on track and seeming to acknowledge a lot of their issues and faults. It's wonderful.
Yeah,
to
well,
see.
I like to think that they sat down and said, "What are we doing, guys? We're making money, but everyone hates our last few games. We can make good games. Let's fuck the release date off. We'll release it when it's finished. If it takes 10 years, it takes 10 years." And I think they started work in 2015, so this game took 8 years to make. Which if you went to the board meeting and said, "Hey guys, I want to make a AAA game. It's going to be ready in 8 years," they'd be like, "Out the door. No, we want a game that's ready in 2 years or 12 months. That's going to make us money." So the fact that they've actually got a new IP and had the shareholders agree in meetings that we're going to do this, and yet we will delay this for you because it's not ready, and we'll give you another delay, is a great thing for the gaming community moving forward. I hope that Activision and Ubisoft have meetings and they go, "Well, Bethesda delayed their game and look how well they're doing, so maybe we should do the same thing and it won't affect our sales as much as we think it will," and different things like that.
I think there's also been some lessons to be learned from what happened with like Cyberpunk and some of these other games, that even if they recover and they fix stuff and they make things work, that initial out of the gate publicity can be so devastating. Like it's just it kills the whole momentum, and it can kill a whole company. So it's not the attitude of release it and fix it later. I think that's being questioned a little bit now.
I don't think Saints Row, that game that pretty much bankrupted that company. So these are really good examples, and it's a good thing that they were able to recover Cyberpunk to where it's at now with that animated they released for it, as well as this DLC expansion. Looks promising. All the content to fix the game, like you can see it on my shelf over there. That I bought it at launch, and truth be told, man, I actually really liked what I played of the game, at least initially at launch. But on my PS5, the game crashed 47 times every 30 minutes. And it literally, I have the record still of it on my PS5. It's just crazy that game was so buggy. But so I have not touched the game until this DLC and all its patches are released. So I'm gonna wait to actually play to get the full effect of it. So
I tried so hard to get into it. I think I played like 30 hours. But now that people say that the game's working, I don't actually have the desire to put it back in.
That's my problem here.
I keep saying I will, and then I'm like, hey. But it's just the momentum's gone. But I do want to play that game. Like it works, it looks great. So
Yeah, I'm not one for picking up a lot of Western releases.
So on
but-
Cyberpunk, it was released by CD Projekt Red. Today, what's your guys' thoughts on that company? Because prior to Cyberpunk, I rated them up there with like the best game publishers making
The Witcher is amazing, man.
Prior to picking up Cyberpunk, I had never played a single game from them. So Cyberpunk is the first game I've ever played from them.
Yeah.
And even because of the RPG elements is the reason I got it. And I like all the customizations of the game. I think it's really good. I think they put a lot of work into that. But my issue with the game was just how unstable it was. And plus, I like driving cars. That was a secondary. I'm like RPG elements in cars. Hey, that's a plus for me. So I bought it for that reason alone. Believe it or not, my friend always like, you always buy a game with cars. Say, hey, if it's got cars in it, I'll buy it. But the RPG element was a secondary thing. Yeah, and plus they adding cars to the DLC. That's awesome. It makes
Final
me happy.
Fantasy 15, your favorite one?
No.
I'm just kidding, because they have the car. It was a joke.
although when you got the off-road parts for the vehicle added to it, yeah, I kind of got a little more excited about it. So, but
in regards, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. Apologies.
No, go ahead, man.
In regards to Figsy's question with CD Projekt Red, I had played a little bit of The Witcher 2 and quite a bit of The Witcher 3, and I thought they were a really good company. And to be honest, even with Cyberpunk being fixed, I lost all trust in them because my mentality is, that game will forever be broken, assuming that you get a day one build of that game. And to me, that level, that's just something that it's going to take a lot of work for them to get back to a point where I can trust them enough to buy their games day one, or even just in general.
100% agree with you. Same as like Hello Studios. They can release the best game of all time next. I'm not buying it day one because I bought No Man's Sky day one. Like, it doesn't matter what they do, they can't change what they've done in the past. They have to now release constant good games for the not just my opinion, but the whole gaming community opinion to change and trust them again. Like Todd Howard was the same. It was memes about Todd Howard releasing games, but like I'm probably going to start trusting the guy again now.
I have not enough history with them to really be negative towards them. I've learned to look at a silver lining for all game companies. Even Hitmaker that released Last Rebellion, that was such a bad game with outstanding voice acting. I did like the music. I did like the game was actually well polished. It wasn't a great game, but I took for what it was worth, and I had a lot of fun with it, even though I hated it at the same time. So I look at everything through a silver glass half full perspective.
Oh, we lost Frigsy for a minute.
Okay.
Someone's probably at his door or something. Technical difficulties.
Yeah, no problem. But
so yeah, I mean, like, I know the topic tonight is supposed to be the RPG genre. So I don't know what attracts you guys to that genre? Like, why don't you let you explain it for yourself? Like, what makes that your favorite genre?
Do you mind if I go first, or?
Not at all.
You're good, man.
All right, cool. Thank you. For me personally, there's a lot that attracts me to JRPGs, and it's funny because I used to really hate them when I was younger. There was all the complex things that would go on with them. But as an adult, I love the same reason I hated them is part of the same reason why I love them now. It's very strategic. It really gets my brain working when I'm having to, number crunch, think about which attacks are most powerful. The stories. I find that a lot of JRPGs have way better stories than some of the things like Call of Duty and whatnot that I played in the past. But one of my biggest things is I don't have the best hand-eye coordination and whatnot. So it's way easier for me to get into a JRPG where I can have a better sense of control, and I can see and I can understand what's going on around me far easier than a game like Assassin's Creed. That's one of the biggest reasons why is because I think I mentioned this earlier, but before the podcast started. But it might take me a long time to do a single mission in a very action-heavy game like Uncharted. But in RPG, I can spend the same amount of time, get way further, and have way more fun. So plus the music on a lot of these is really good, really unique situations. I could just go on. So apologies, I couldn't properly vocalize everything, but there you go.
No, that's a lot of solid points. What about you, Forrest?
So, what got me into the genre actually was a friend of mine in high school. He was not a big fan of Final Fantasy VII. He got the game new. His father bought it for him for his birthday. He gave it to me because he tried it and he just couldn't get into it. Um, he lost the case and the art for it, and he gave me Resident Evil 2 at the same time, both
Right.
of which genres he didn't like. So I took them home and I initially played FF7 for the very first time.
So you didn't like
And
Final Fantasy VII or Resident Evil 2?
no, he didn't
So
like
these
either
games
one.
are crap.
Odd.
You can have them.
What an odd duck. Yeah,
So I took them home, and initially because I had never experienced that level of gameplay before, because it was coming from someone who played racing games and who played more platform-based games. I didn't realize that there was pre-rendered backgrounds in Resident Evil 2 and pre-rendered backgrounds in Final Fantasy 7.
Mhm.
You had to interact with the environment in certain aspects to do. So in Resident Evil 2's case was opening a door, you had to push a button. I had no idea. I walked around that very first corridor that then is in the street where the fire starts. I didn't know what to do. So I didn't have the manual because he didn't have it. And 7 was the same way because I didn't know you had to go and push button prompts to attack. And I didn't understand what I was doing when you were running around the environment. I didn't know where you're supposed to go. So I actually did not like 7 initially because I had no idea what to do. It wasn't until a year later when I said, you know what, let me give it another chance. So I sat there with no manual and because I didn't have a computer at that time to look up the internet. The internet wasn't that great or very,
The
very
old
in
days.
its infancy back
You're
then.
SOL if you didn't know what to do, dude.
Pretty much.
You get to ask
So
a friend,
I took my
a cousin,
time one
some
weekend.
older brother. Hey.
Call 1-900 number.
Yeah.
And then if I didn't have a manual, I had no way of calling that either. So one weekend I sat down and I gave the game a chance. I gave 7 a chance. And with patience, perseverance, I was able to understand the game. And to this day, to this very, very day, I still have that original copy of 7 my friend gave me. The original disc, I still have them. They're scratched to high hell, but I still have them. But what made me get into it afterwards was I realized that was the first game that I actually felt like I experienced some crazy story of a world in peril, of a group of individuals who had a task to save not only the world but become friends and become closer together through the trials and tribulations that they experienced with the company of Shinra, with the destruction and the turmoil that Cloud had to experience with his friend back when he was some part of Soldier. Aerith being that character that she was a very positive person who saw through the slums that vegetation can grow in the darkest of places. And so seeing the little bit of things in every character throughout that game and kind of visualizing something that you never got to experience before, especially because for me, never playing that side of RPGs, I actually came out kind of like a revelation. This is a whole new experience. Let me try something new. And I bought Final Fantasy VIII and Final Fantasy IX, and that actually pushed me into that direction of RPGs at that point. So I was really, it was a heart-wrenching experience that I, to this day, still hold dear, because 7 was that light at the end of the tunnel of something more than just a game.
Yeah.
It's a experience that you can admire and say, hey, even games can have a movie tie-in to something that you can enjoy, that you feel like you're a part of. That's how RPGs to me are. It's that experience in being involved in that world. So
that's a really great way of putting
That's
it.
a great one.
And I think Final Fantasy VII did really like put like its mark on the map for video game storytelling in general, which took that because that you know Mario is not going to be the most deepest story in other RPGs even to that point. But
Right.
like you said, once we got to that generation and the cinematics started getting put in, I really do feel like that brought it to another level.
And looking back on it nowadays, you can definitely see they really tried to go for that next level experience. I mean, I gotta say this that Cyrus pointed out. It's not about what. See, the thing about the opinions of what specific game you like is one thing, but what I mean by 7 specifically is it was that push that gave you 9 and 8 to pick which one you like. Because if it wasn't for 7, you would not have 8 and 9 to be where they are now, and you would not be able to say, "Well, I like this specific game." In my opinion, you have to give 7 the credit it deserves for allowing 8 and 9 to flourish, to be able to choose those games as your favorite, because 7 was the groundwork that allowed 8 and 9 to exist. So I do have my personal preference, which we'll talk about later. But for right now, 7 is that game that gave me that leverage to get into that genre. So I never, even though I have a favorite Final Fantasy, 7 will always be the game that gave me the groundwork for RPGs as a whole. I keep that as a reminder for myself. If it was not for this game, I would not be where I am right now.
First, I would almost argue that 7 was the catalyst of games that changed the entire genre, like Grand Theft Auto did, or certain titles like that. Like after Final Fantasy VII, games tried to be that, took inspiration from that game, and the JRPG scene absolutely exploded after that. So it's one of those games that not just that it sold 15 million copies. So how many people's first experience?
And there's a reason it did, because it was just that experience alone that no one got to ever see before. It was just, I mean, yeah, you got to start and finish to a Mario game. The closest that a Mario RPG ever got to a story that was worth it, but that pushed it to the next level.
So for me, my experience is a little bit different. I mean, I'm a little older, and I started gaming like I started really like on the Atari, but I mean, I couldn't read at that point. So I had RPGs that I played with my brother, but he basically was playing them and telling me what to do. I didn't know what was going on. But then like we got like the Master System and the Nintendo. That's really when I could start to read and like play games like that. And back in the day, you could get a game and the mileage you would get out of a game really could vary. So your parents could spend $50 on a game for you and bring it home, and you could beat that thing in like an hour and just be like, well, that's that. You know what I mean? Like, and that could be it. And you can keep playing that game over and over and over and over again, which is what we did. We just kept playing the same stack of games over and over and over and over again. So RPGs were just unbelievable because it was just 40 hours 50 hours worth of game time in a game back then, and that was just massive. So like I said, the mileage I would get out of those games was insane. And I don't know, I just for me, like, first off, can't talk enough about how good the music is in RPGs. Is like,
true. Yeah.
When I think of video game music, I either think of like action games like Mega Man, or I think of like RPGs and like all just amazing soundtracks from all the games like Secret of Mana and Final Fantasy and all, and just every the list goes on. So that's a huge thing to me. Like I could hear RPG video game music and feel that nostalgia. Just remember those games. It's I don't know, something about the music in those games is just amazing.
Yeah.
And then it was the only genre ever like where I gave a damn about any video game characters. Yeah. So every other video game, it's like there's a story, and it's like you're this guy and you're saving X village or the princess or whatever, or the human race from the aliens. Sure, whatever. I don't care. Start. Let's go. I want to blow everything up. I didn't care. I wasn't interested. Mm-hmm. But the RPGs, I'm like, especially back in the day, like the cutscenes, the cinematic. I wasn't skipping nothing.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there watching
Right.
every second of those cutscenes on PS1, especially because that was like mind blowing at the time. Like you watch it now and people are like, "Oh my god, this is cringe."
Yeah,
But at the time, I was like, it was just wow. Coming off of like the consoles before it, it's hard to explain, but
I know what you mean, man. I know exactly what you mean. In
Blew
64
you
to
away.
PlayStation, because
Yeah,
I bought,
exactly.
Almost.
yeah, I bought both of them. Kind of, well, N64 first and PlayStation, so it was a different experience entirely.
Yes, it
Uh,
was so good. Good.
The insane part, to me is that a lot of these games, I never grew up playing a lot of the classics because I didn't get into RPGs until PS4 or PS3 generation. That was when I got my first JRPG, and even now going back, I played Xenosaga 1 recently. Even 20 years later, some of these stories are still like nothing else that have been told in gaming.
Well, that series especially is very
Oh, yeah.
creative.
Yeah. But it's just insane to me, that so many JRPGs have such intense, interesting stories that even decades later, people still can't do it. And that really helped me flock towards it. Earlier I had explained that I had kind of been shooing away from a lot of mainstream stuff like that, the RPGs. But it was mostly because of the stories, man. Even the jokier stuff like Hyperdimension Neptunia, such unique series, such unique stories, interesting characters, weird worlds, interesting situations. I think what really draws, at least I think one of the best elements of RPGs. They have so many interesting, unique stories that could only be told via that particular way of game, the type of game.
Have you had a chance to finish the third Xenosaga game?
No, I just finished the first one like yesterday. So
Nice.
Okay.
So yeah, and then gosh, so like what also too like what I mean about like caring about the characters too is like in RPGs, if a character like they kill off a character, like
yeah,
I'm upset about it for a lot
Same.
of days.
same.
Like and another thing it's interesting too. I don't know about you guys, but like especially when I was younger, not RPGs were always like a shared experience. I was always playing them with like a group of people. Like back when I was always me and my brothers or my dad, or like we were all trying to do it together. And like, oh man, all the memories of like we're all stuck in the same dungeon or something. And one of us figures it out, and it's like, yes, we're all so excited. Like that's how you beat this stupid boss. Like, oh my god, you have to get the silver acorns. Oh, who knew that? Whatever it is.
I wish I had more family relatives back then. A lot of my family, believe it or not, gamers. My father wasn't. But I will say this: a friend of mine who I met much later was like that when he was big into Valkyrie Profile and stuff like that. So I would always watch him play those games, and that was the first time I actually had a friend who liked the same type of games I liked. But yeah, man, I tell you, it's incredible to get. Actually, Death Scene was Aerith, so that really got me back then because it was the first time I ever experienced a death of a character in a video game. So
yeah, and you're like, I just bought her gear. What the?
Especially that
she a good pirate.
I need.
What the heck?
Yeah. Yep.
Dude. I
What
mean,
got
I
me
never.
into JRPGs was me and my brother were young and we got taken to a secondhand shop and Dad said you can buy 2 video games. So we picked out Grand Theft Auto Vice City and Dark Cloud, and we picked out Dark Cloud off the artwork, and that happened to be a really good decision because that game certainly changed gaming for me and my brother. It opened us up to an entire different world, and we only ever played the first 2 stages because we could never work out how to connect the water in the second stage, and it took us like 3 years until we actually connected this. And it was like what Forrest said when you have that oh my god moment, I've finally done this, and then you play and then you jump on the other memory card and do the same thing, and then it'll be like a similar thing in a boss. You get stuck on the boss for weeks, and then one of you work out how to beat the boss, and then the other person instantly does it, and just such a good experience.
Here's a fun fact. Until this very day, I am still stuck on the final boss of Final Fantasy VIII of Ultimecia. Same save file I had back in high school. To this very day, I still have not beat that boss.
That's insane.
All the forms she has. The fact you have to get all of your equipment for your draw, your magic, and all that stuff, just to fight her, to go through that trial, just to be able to get the chance to beat her. It's still to this day one of the most challenging final bosses on any Final Fantasy game I personally have had to deal with, still to this day. So, and I want to say actually real quick because I didn't see the comment. Radical Reggie, I am going to have to follow your channel once I'm finished with the stream. I've actually watched your videos, dude. I appreciate that.
Yeah, everybody's got to go sub to Reggie. We got to get him to
Oh, he's
100K. Everybody, right now, right now. Don't leave
Stop
this stream.
everything you're doing.
Open up another window and then sub to him. Don't leave.
No, I agree with what Reggie just said. I think it's better than Zelda, and a Dark Cloud 3 would be the ultimate game for me. I know we got Rogue Galaxy, we got Dark Chronicle 2. I guess Ni no Kuni is kind of what they made as a sequel, but a true Dark Cloud 3, oh my god.
Yeah, Tellion 101, you're right. That the latter half of Fate's ending gameplay is very challenging, dude. It's not like that. And a lot of people may not know, but FF8, the levels follow your character up until you get to a certain boss at level 35 default. At that point onward is when the game is actually hard. So you could breeze through that game without even level grinding up to that. I think it's the third disc, if I remember correctly.
I think that brings us to our little question of tonight's stream. And our question today is, what are your 3 favorite JRPGs of all time? So what we're going to do is we're going to go around in a circle. We'll show 1 game each, and then 2, and then 3. And then at the end, between the 4 of us, we'll try and make a definitive list of the 4 of us' top 5 JRPGs. I'll go first with 1, and then you, AJ, and then you, Forrest, and then you, Jerome. So I've already talked about it, of course. Dark Cloud is up there with one of my favorite JRPGs of all time. I have since replayed this game multiple times. I played it last year on the PS4. I got all the trophies, 100% of the game. Actually, yesterday I was watching a guy called Glitched, who is the world record speedrunner, play this game. Like I absolutely love this game. I'm still in the Twitch community, and yeah. And if you guys are keen, go check out Glitched on Twitch. He still speedruns this game. He owns the world record for the
crazy dude.
The glitch world record and the glitchless world record. It's like and then he's working on the 100% world record, which is like 8 hours, which is absolutely insane. So, yeah. What do you got for us, AJ?
All right. By the way, Figsy, I still to play Dark Cloud. I've not had the chance to play that one yet, unfortunately.
It holds up today. Play it on PS2, on PS4, whatever, but it is amazing.
So, I also technically have a runner-up, but an honorable mention, but I'll do that for last, I guess. My actual one here is the Final Fantasy. And apologies, let me move this slightly out of the way for a moment. There we go. The Final Fantasy 4 and Chrono Trigger combo disc set here. I've not played as much Final Fantasy, but I know for a fact Chrono Trigger is a phenomenal game, and the fact this has 2 of the best RPGs ever made, it makes it a must-play in my opinion. It must pick up. Yeah, this port's not as good, Chrono Trigger. Loading times aren't the best, but even with the issues, it's still a phenomenal game.
Yeah, it sucks there's no DLC for Tears of the Kingdom. I'm pretty disappointed with that.
Yeah, I actually didn't hear about that. That's heartbreaking.
Oh,
Yeah, they pretty much squared that off. That's not going to happen.
Well, yeah, you can't really be too mad though, because it's a 200-hour game. So, like, how much content do you really need?
So we're all showing 1 game at a time, or?
Yeah, 1 game at a time. So, what do you got for us first?
So, starting from like the 3rd down. So, these are a little more
order.
No particular order? Okay, cool.
I can't put these.
All right, well, in this case, then, this is one on the Wii that I absolutely love. This is Arc Rise Fantasia. So what got me into this game was reading about how bad the voice acting was originally. But this actually reminds me of a Tales of game. Its art style, its 3D environments, its world, its characters, it's kind of actiony turn-based combat is really good. And what I like about this game though, not the last story, because it's actually inside of my I don't really like the last story all that much. I try to play it, but anyway, enough about that game. So Arc Rise Fantasia is actually a really good game because the main character, Lark, He's fighting. He's part of the Dragoon Brigade, which fights dragons, and he falls off of an airship, lands on the ground, and these dragons explode and can kill you when they die.
Hmm.
So the girl on the front cover here, she actually saves Lark, and he becomes part of what they call like the divine. There's a term they use in the game. I'm trying to remember the name of that term. It's God, if somebody in the comment can figure out what that term is, it's a term where it's like good versus evil that they use a reference to, where it's the divas are like they have to find the Imaginal's law in the game. It's once you find the diva, which she's a diva and he's like the host, he can summon this huge mech which can help fight and fend off the planet from evil. Unfortunately, his friend, who is the prince, I don't know if he's on this cover or not. Yeah, he's right up here. He's actually evil, on the evil side of Imaginal's law, which is her. Dude, the story takes a turn for the worse when all your friends turn against you. They split up and you're fighting against each other, good versus evil. And you're like, holy crap. So it's a phenomenal game. I love this story a lot. Lark is a character who he's just taking it day by day. He's living his life, take care of his mother. He's working his hardest to take care of her. But when he realized that the world is in a lot of turmoil and the world's going to die, he basically had to put his foot down and say, you know what? I got to go against the kingdom. I got to save the planet. I can't sit here and sit idly by and just be nonchalant about it. He had a realization. I like how he grows up as a character. Although the voice acting makes this game, it's horrible. but that's the charm of the game, though. I absolutely love Arc Rise Fantasia, though. Absolutely.
It looks like an interesting one.
It's a beautiful game, though. Like on the Wii, it is a beautiful game for the Wii. Absolutely beautiful. I love the art style of the game a lot.
What do you got first, Joe? What's your first one?
So I know you guys, you may want something crazy, weird, or rare, or whatever. But I just got to be honest. Like when it comes down to like RPGs, for me, what makes like them stand above is if I want to go back to them and play them again.
Mhm.
That's what makes them stand apart. Like so, the ones that I choose are the ones that like I actually miss the characters and I miss the story and I like miss the music and I like will repeatedly replay these games. And I've already played this one like 4 times or something, which is absurd for how new it is. But yeah, I got to give it to it. I have played Persona 5
Oh, phenomenal.
Good choice.
so many
Phenomenal.
times.
Good choice.
And I don't care if it's like a predictable whatever choice or whatever, but this game is so damn good. So like I loved JRPGs growing up as a kid, but I kind of fell out of the genre for a long time just because they're, very time, consuming. So I just wasn't really into it. But this game single-handedly got me like excited about playing RPGs again. I couldn't believe how much I loved this game. And again, if a game just has unbelievably amazing music, that's just such a huge selling point to me. This game is such damn good music. It's so good in this game. And the actual characters are very fun. And like, I like chill games too, guys. Like I like very intense games. I like shmups. I like rhythm games that are really intense, but I definitely like just chilling out, farming games, making soup, making tea, whatever, shopping at the mall, picking up stupid chicks, whatever. Like I like just, dude, I like games I can put the controller down for a minute and I don't know, do things I'm probably not supposed to talk about on the internet. Anyway,
what I like,
I like to chill.
That you mentioned about that. It does have good replayability because you can play it completely differently and have a different experience to your first play, which is great.
Do the relationship stuff totally different.
Yeah.
Use a different
The
party,
social links,
like,
man, the social links are the best part of the game for sure.
For sure.
Just being able to get to know your friends outside of the school life and just their own day-to-day stuff that they have to deal with it brings the game closer together.
Yeah.
And it's turn-based, baby. Which is
a lot of games
going
away
from
like
that.
So it's good to have a.
I'm not against action RPGs. I embrace the future, but like I said, I like games like you said, AJ. You can like take a minute, look around, see what's going on, think about it, come up with the strategy, and be like, all right, so I'm gonna do this and then this and then this. it's a thinking man's game. It's not necessarily like, like a reaction thing. It's I don't know, strategy. Like you're playing chess more. You're like looking at the board for a minute. Like, I don't know. I like that as well about it.
Joe, you brought up a really good point. All the games I'm showing today, they're all over almost 20 years old, and I've played every single one of them recently. Like they have that replayability that I'm still playing it.
You get the urge to, like,
Yeah.
I'll every once in a while be like, oh man. It's like I do the same thing with TV shows. You ever have like a TV show, you just watch it like every few year or two.
Hey,
like, God,
the only
Yeah.
TV show that I can watch over and over again and never get tired of is Keeping Up Appearances. Patricia Routledge is one of the greatest British actresses of all time. She is phenomenal. She's like the modern day Lucille Ball. So I do get what you're saying.
On eBay if you want some for us. I got some DVDs of Keeping Up Appearances on eBay.
You do, because if you do, I definitely would like to buy them because I don't think they ever released them here. I don't think they did.
Yeah, we can work something out. I find them all the time. They're like really good sellers for us.
I freaking love that show. Outstanding, man.
I always watch the first 4 seasons of Lost.
And then it gets bad.
And then I'm like, yeah, this is a bad idea. And I stop.
For me, the show I want to go back to is Futurama. I've watched that show
that's
dozens of times. Love that show.
Oh, yeah, or The Office or Always Sunny. Comedy shows especially.
Yeah.
Those are timeless. Yeah, timeless.
Now, when I was picking out my games, I initially went for like the Dark Souls games because that's my favorite genre. But then I really thought they're not JRPGs. Well, the JRPG means Japanese role-playing game.
Yeah.
Japanese company. To me, it's not a JRPG. It's an action RPG. I really had to think about this one. And then once I thought about this game, there's no way this game could be replaced from my top 3. And that's Pokemon Gold. I don't have the original version. I've got the 3DS version. I hope to get the Game Boy Color version eventually. It's just one of those things. It's like $500 for a nice copy.
Absolutely love that cover of the homage to the original game, though.
Yeah, so this is the download version for the 3DS. It's a download code only. It's in a box, like a cardboard box, like the original Game Boy box. It's in perfect condition and sealed. So I'm really happy to own this one. But yeah, Pokemon Gold is absolutely amazing. It's my favorite Pokemon game. You could say Silver or Crystal, but for me, I played Gold when I was a kid, so it's my favorite. I replay this game probably once a year. I played on an emulator because I prefer to play it with double speed, but Pokemon games are absolutely amazing. And when you talk about JRPGs, you have to mention the Pokemon games because a lot of people's first JRPG, whether they know it or not, is Pokemon. Yeah. Let's be honest. You guys might be exactly the same too, whether you played it.
That was mine.
Yeah, so, there you go, AJ, 100%. And
I've never heard of Pushing Daisies. I guess I'll have to look into that show.
So when you talk about best RPGs of all time, I couldn't go past Pokemon Gold.
Very good pick. Okay. So, I don't fully know. So my apologies. All right, so I have one here that it's not the best RPG ever made. It's probably not even a lot of people's top 10, but this one actually means a lot to me from I was playing at a very rough time in my life, and that's why it's one of my favorites. I hope that makes sense. My next pick is it's actually Rhapsody, a musical adventure.
That is a good game, and I was
I really do love the series. If you guys don't mind, I want to tell the reason why. I was going through a very bad breakup at the time, and this was probably this was a couple of years ago, and I was really depressed. I was like, man, I need a feel-good game. I need something that, I can get to take my mind off the situation and just have some fun. And I picked up the PS1 version of Rhapsody. Finally popped it in. I think I finished it in like 2 days, and it made me feel, just how happy, silly, goofy, cute the entire game was. The music, the music, the graphics, the art, it cheered me up to a level I had not experienced in a long time with a video game. So that's why that one's my number 2 pick. It just helped me get through a very bad time in my life.
Cool, man. Did you pick up the new one, obviously, which is the re-release of the 2 and 3 or whatever?
I have 2 and 3 on one of the local game stores I go to. They have a copy that they're trying to get ordered, but they had a bit of an issue, so I'm waiting for that to come through. I try to support them before I go to Amazon and whatnot to pick it up. So.
Yeah, so one of the things that really bugs me is that they just re-released Rhapsody 2 and 3 on PS5.
Yeah,
and
not 1.
No,
Part
that's-
1 is not available on PS5. It's available on OG PS1. But you might be shocked to hear that an old school RPG on the PS1 is kind of expensive now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Especially that.
It's not
So
insane. It's not
what's the
insane,
one on
but it's expensive. So
what is the one on the Switch? Is that the PS1 on the
That's-
Switch in that
yeah.
collection?
So
Yeah.
that's what's irritating is the Switch. They have this series. It's like Prinny's Classics or something. I think it's called.
Yeah, I do have that box that
And
AJT has in his hand. I do
they
have
have-
it.
They have a couple different ones they've released with different RPGs on it, and
But I had
that
no idea that.
got released on the Switch only. And they didn't release that on the PlayStation. That irritates.
Yeah, I
me.
had no idea that I was wondering what that Rhapsody was on PS4. I thought it was just a port of that, but I had no idea it's the sequels to the original. I had no idea. Well,
I guess they never got released in the West. So
Yeah,
this is the first
yeah.
time they have like an English translation for us to play with.
I was wondering why it
And
cost so
that-
much. So why is it so expensive for the first game again? They just released it, and now it makes sense now. So
And yeah, and I was checking. Reggie actually posted a picture of his collection. I had no idea, but on
Yeah.
PS2, that game La Pucelle Tactics, that's the
Yeah.
same. That's like a part of that franchise. I had no
yes,
idea.
yes, it
Part
is.
of
It
that.
is.
Oh,
part
I
of it.
wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
neither did I. I was, yeah. But anyway, I'm one definitely picking that up. So
Now that you told me that, and thanks to Reggie for that, I definitely need to get that too.
No, Joe,
PS5, so many good RPGs. Go ahead.
I
Yeah,
could not
PS4
recommend
is
Rapid.
starting to turn like the PS4, man. If it keeps on track, that'll be good, really good.
Oh yeah.
What do you got next for us, Forrest? What's your second pick?
So I'm gonna do a little retro game this time, but it's actually a copy on the Switch. So remember I told you guys earlier that even though 7 has a lot of, I put a lot of respect to 7 for the genre. My favorite Final Fantasy is actually Final Fantasy 9. So
I love
Love the
that
artwork
game.
for that one.
Yeah.
Sideways,
So
it's so
the reason this one's not even open because I have it digital, but I absolutely love the love story between Zidane and Dagger in this game. What I liked about 9 is what I liked about 7, but just better. To know that this game was actually made in the United States, it was made in Hawaii. A lot of people didn't know that. They developed the game in Hawaii. So this game was made in the US. That's
Interesting.
even funnier because the company was working on Spirits Within and they needed to make a game to coincide with the cost of developing that movie. So they decided to make 9. And this game's like world, oh man, the magical feel of it with the different creatures in the world and the characters and the world building. Vivi is so likable because he's like misunderstood, and as you go through the game you start seeing that he doesn't feel like he fits in compared to everybody else. He always thinks about his grandparents and his family that's no longer there. He feels alone, and he found meaning and he had a purpose with these characters. Steiner, who was very protective of Dagger, but realized that, hey, he has to let her go. She has to go on her own path. And Zidane, who realized what he was, he had to find meaning when he found out what his altered purpose was. So every character in the game had something that tied them away from being human, from being themselves. And that ultimately is what I liked about it. But the love story, to me, is one of the best love stories of a character between Dagger and Zidane. I love the love story, especially at the end. That the ending scene at the castle. And if you did not know about the secret ending that you can get for Steiner and his love interest, that's pretty cool. But it is a very hard secret ending to get for FF9. But I love that also PS1 version is 2-player. So me and a friend of mine played through the whole game of Final Fantasy 9 on PS1. It's 2-player. He controlled the other characters. I control 2. You can't do it on the Switch version though. They took it away. But
That's so. Took away the
freaking
best
love
part.
this game.
It's really cool, man.
What do you got next for us, Joe?
So if we're allowed to do action RPGs, I got to give it to this game just because like this game was literally like the reason I have this entire collection behind me and the reason I'm on this podcast right now. And it's like all came from one day being like, you know what, I want to play this game again and I want to go get a copy of it. Like, so I've told the story a million times, but my collection from when I was younger. My brother took it when he moved out, which I had no issue with. I didn't care at the time. I didn't really think about it. And then like a couple years later, he sold it all. And then after, of course, as soon as it was all gone, I started to have mad regrets. And I was like, oh, God. And then I started rebuilding the collection. And this is the first game I bought. And because I absolutely love it to death. And that is
Brave Fencer Musashi.
So like everybody else, like I probably got this game just to get the demo for Final Fantasy VIII or whatever it was. But I loved this game. Like I people say Zelda kill or whatever. This actually is like a Zelda kill, as far as I'm concerned. Like I thought this game was way better, and it was just really charming, super fun. Love the graphics, love the gameplay. I don't know. It's just one of those games that like it's a comfort game. I'll go back and play this all the time. Like this is seriously could just be one of those things where I'm like, I don't know what to play. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm like, I'll just toss this in and play this for a little while. One of those games, like, just absolutely love it. Can't say enough about it. If you've never played it, I would highly recommend it.
John actually said something in chat or asked something that was similar to that. He asked if we have games that we go back through nostalgia. Instead of answering that might be the topic for our next show because that's like a 20-minute question.
That's
I was going to answer that question, but I can definitely wait till we've ever come back again.
So we'll save that one, John, for an entire show because that's a really good question.
All three of my picks were heavily motivated by that, but you know, there's lots of games I have.
Okay, so partial
not
spoiler,
just RPGs.
like what Joe was saying. If we're talking about one, this is one game where I've played more than once, and it's very rare I do. So if I have a game I play more than once, it's considered my favorite.
Especially an RPG.
Playing a JRPG more than once because you know what happens. It's not a game that is like a game that is different every time, like a shoot 'em up. Or, you're playing a game of Call of Duty or something. Where if you're playing a JRPG again, it's special to you. You're like you miss the characters. You want to relive it, like. Going into New Game Plus, for example, is like playing a game again. It's hard for me. If I'm going into New Game Plus, that game's amazing.
Cyrus had mentioned earlier, Symphony of the Night. I don't know what DOT means, but Symphony of the Night is definitely a good. I can see why that would be one of your favorite top 3 games.
Well, Nuts and Bolts mentioned one of mine. He said Heroes of Might and Magic 4. I was playing Heroes of Might and Magic 3 last week.
Might and Magic 4 is really good too. Also, the Pokemon OST is amazing. I love the OST and Sword and Shield a lot. It's really good.
Yeah, the Tentacle was the game that Cyrus was mentioning for us.
Oh, okay, cool.
We'll get into our final rounds and then we'll bring up our top 5 and try and make a list together. But my third pick today was Kingdom Hearts 2. As Forrest is wearing the shirt for it. But Kingdom Hearts 1 or 2.
I didn't realize it's kind of funny.
Absolutely amazing. For me, actually, going back, it's almost a blur between 1 and 2. They're almost like the same game because I played them both so long ago. I couldn't actually tell you which world is in which game. I just know I love them both. And I know like some of the final battles in 2 were like absolutely amazing, like fighting Sephiroth at the end, and that's why I went with 2 as my pick. But this game had shipbuilding. Like I was a kid, so playing worlds that were Disney to me was mind blowing. Oh my god, I love this movie! And now I'm playing the game, getting the collectibles, meeting the characters. Like for me as a kid, talking to people in like the Tarzan world or different worlds like that was so mind-blowing because you weren't just watching a movie, you were in the movie, like you were the main character, and it was just so mind-blowing back then. And I remember beating this game for the first time. Amazing experience. Unfortunately I didn't like 3 as much as 1 and 2, and I didn't like the spin-offs.
No, I didn't either. I mean, I liked the Toy Story world though a lot, but aside from that, it just didn't feel quite as as 2 did.
It felt really, playing it recently, it felt really grindy, which sounds funny because the game is exactly the same, but it just hasn't changed to other games today. Like it should be a completely different game.
I never played Lemmings at all, so that may something to look into too.
So Kingdom Hearts 2 is my second pick. What do you got? My third pick. What do you got last for us, AJ?
All right, man, this is a tough one. I was on the fence about picking King Yakuza, like a dragon. But in this one, so I had to go with this one. Um, the Legend of Heroes,
Nice.
Trails of Cold Steel.
Oh man, we was talking about that in the last show.
I love the
I
franchise.
absolutely this game. It got me into anything that Falcon put out. I mean, it's the point where I went in. I even played like Eve Book 1 and 2 on the Turbo Graphics. That's how far back I've been going with these guys. That's how far back in the past I went after playing this. And I'm a huge fan now of the E series of all of the Legend of Heroes games. I don't have all of them yet. I have most of them localized in English. I'm only missing the PSP one. What was it? When they came with the big collector's box. That's the one I'm missing. But
Trails in the Sky.
yeah, that's the only one I'm missing. But
Me
this
too.
game,
That's why I know
phenomenal.
exactly which one you're talking about.
Phenomenal
Yep.
story, phenomenal characters, and I have not finished past 3 yet. I'm in the middle of 3. That's that's where I'm at right now. But great characters, great gameplay. Some of the best JRPG gameplay I've played in a long time. So that's my number 3 pick.
What's up, Steve? What do you got next for us first?
Alrighty, I want to say hello to Mr. Rightway, and also so for the last game. This one was tough. Okay, getting to pick one that was, you know how some RPGs have visual novel aspects to them.
Mm-hmm.
I really try not to pick this game, but it is considered one of my favorite in the series of the series. It's Sakura Wars.
Ooh.
And what I really like about this game is even though it's a visual novel at heart, when you have your battles with your mechs and you're doing your fighting, all of it ties into how you treat the characters, how you interact with the characters, and what you do that actually works in tandem with their stats in the game. And so for me, I love the heart-wrenching battles when they happen, because when they happen, they are extraordinary. Every battle sequence is like a movie, and every environment plays in tandem with overall how each character was treated and whatnot. So you can make a character really upset and they won't help you in battle. So it's really crazy. Yeah, like
Just
you
let
could
me know why.
actually make the characters hate
I'm
you
not helping you.
to where when you need them to help you, they won't help you. That's what I like about this game. It's like you can change the outcome of battle just on how you treat the characters. And I
That's
love
awesome.
that about Sakura Wars.
It's a shame.
This is literally, if you never played Sakura Wars so long, my love on PS2, that is a really good game. But Subaru's like side story in that game is hard to do. But yeah, Sakura Wars, man, I've put so many hours into this game and loved every battle sequence. Loved all of the musical, like they have like these musical things they do for like the dancing and stuff. It's really cool. This game's beautiful, man. Its graphics is so outstanding in this game. It is a gorgeous PS4 game, and I absolutely love Sakura Wars. This really is one of Sega's like, running franchise. I think they need to put a lot more love into because it's underrated. It's completely underrated.
It is.
And I
It
do
is.
recommend it. I do recommend it.
Sorry to cut you off there at the end, man. It is a shame that series has not been that more of that series has not been localized. The fact we only have 2 localized games is just it's wrong, man.
Let's hope
Yeah.
with time more games get ported over to the West and fan translations or remakes with English and vice versa for games that aren't localized in Japan or games that don't have like Spanish or French or German. Let's hope it gets to a point where everyone in the world can play every single game. That's how it should be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And Joe, what's your final game for the pick?
So I'm ashamed to say I don't actually own a physical copy of my favorite RPGs because they're old and I have never rebuilt my cartridge collection. So I have them, digitally, obviously, and I still play them quite often. But hands down, no question, without a doubt, my favorite RPG of all time is the original Phantasy Star on the Master System.
Oh, it's a good one.
The first game. That was the game that got me in love with all RPGs, period. And at the time, again, the graphics in that game were unbelievably amazing compared to what was available on the rest of the Master System or the Nintendo. In my opinion, the original Phantasy Star looks incredible, and the music in that game, again, it's just completely outstanding, just amazing. And love the characters, love the story, love the I love that it's like medieval fantasy and sci-fi. Like I thought that was the coolest thing ever back and then, like mixing the two genres, because like you have like swords and then you're in armor, but then you also have like laser guns and you fly on spaceships and go to different planets and stuff. It's just a flippin' amazing game. And I could say the same thing about Phantasy Star 2. Honestly, like I think they're both, to me, I love 2 just as much. A lot of people poop crap on 2. They don't like it because of reasons or whatever, but I love 2 to death as well. And I think the story in 2 is the best in the series. I think it's, a lot of people like 4 the best, which I completely see why. It's like overall, it's probably the best game, but I love the characters in the story in part 2. I thought it was absolutely amazing. And again, it was, it has one of those big deaths of a main character, which, I was like, God, how old was I when I played that game? I don't know, 9, something like that, maybe. Wow. So to me, when, a main, your video game character dying, it was like the most traumatic thing that had ever happened in my life at that point. So it's just like, what? It's like, oh,
yeah. The only Fantasy Star games I have is Fantasy Star Portable 1 and 2. That's the only ones. That's the only thing I have, really.
So the Phantasy Star franchise, the portable games and then the online series, those are great, but totally different animals than the mainline RPG series 1 through 4.
Yeah, I don't think I ever will own those on cartridge. I don't really collect cartridge games anymore.
I don't collect.
Stay away from them. Yeah,
I would love to. Don't get me wrong, but they're very expensive and they're so easy to emulate.
Yeah,
it's just like
the only cartridge games I own in my collection is Crystallis, because I had this since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm. It's a great game.
Some Monster Hunter 4x4 game, and then the original Super Mario Brothers. That's the only thing I have left from my childhood. So
I got a few box Pokemon games, but that's it. That's like you limit yourself to that, because if you open up to Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance,
I had a very bad experience with I bought a copy of Tales of Fantasia for the Game Boy Advance, and it was a bootleg. And when I got that, I got rid of it. And I was like, no, I'm not touching anything cartridge anymore. So
it's so prevalent fakes on Game Boy.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was done with it.
Boxes, they fake the cartridges, they fake everything.
Yeah.
But guys, thank you for giving us your top 3 games.
Wait. Can I give one honorable mention too? Can I just give one more? Sorry, it's so hard. How can you ask me to pick 3? This is so hard, bro. Dragon Warrior 3 or Dragon Quest 3 is I love that too. So I love my Master System and my Phantasy Star, but on the Nintendo, Dragon Warrior was the balls. So people may have liked Final Fantasy, but Dragon Warrior was amazing, and Dragon Warrior 3, in my opinion, is the best one. And they're remaking it, and they're doing like a HD 2.5, pixel art remake thing, whatever. I don't know what to call it. They're making it look like Octopath Traveler or something like that, and they're re-releasing it, and I can't wait. Yeah, and they picked specifically 3. Which blew me away. Not 1, not 2, not 4. They were like, we're remaking Dragon Warrior 3. And I'm like, hell yeah. Who's this? That's the one. Man. That's the best one. I was so excited. So we decided that. Thank you. All right. And that's it. I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
Well, guys, now that we picked our best 3, we're going to, as the 4 of us, kind of put a list of our top 5 together. So can I get an agreement that we're going to all include Final Fantasy 7 at number 1?
No.
You guys
I would say it would be.
I mean, it is probably the most popular.
Yeah. Well, let's be real.
When you consider what it did to revolutionize the RPG genre, I would say, it deserves to be on that list.
And on top of that too, it also helped popularize them in the West. So those two things just make it one of the most important ones. So it deserves there for sure.
I think that's going to be the easiest choice, because I can't think what number 2 would be without causing an argument.
Tell Leon, I still need to play Final Fantasy 6. I have yet to touch that game.
See, I like 6 better than 7. Yeah. But that's because, again, the story is amazing. 7 is better, objectively, but the story in 6 is the balls, dude.
I would just agree with what 7 did for gaming, for JRPGs. Like, it just made the series what it is today.
I do own a Pixel Remaster collection. Telling I'll play it. I'll definitely put it on my list to play it.
if you guys remember back in sorry, if you guys ever look back at old advertisements or remember when 7 came out, so many of their JRPGs were being labeled as the Final Fantasy 7 killer. That in itself to tell you all you need to know.
Moving on from 7, we need a number 2, guys. So
It's not like personal picks. This is just like what we think like the most.
Yeah, what we think would be the top 5, and we have to be in agreement because there's 4 of us.
Well, if I had to pick another one that it kind of adds to that genre of importance, I would have to say, truth be told, we got to give credit to Dragon Quest. I think.
Yeah,
sure.
I would think Dragon Quest would be another one, just because they made a law in Japan specifically around the fact people were missing work to play, missing school to play the game. So I would have to give,
the first Dragon Quest.
I'd go with 7.
I would say the first Dragon Quest. It was one of those games that really changed gaming in its sense of RPGs for that series. That it adds to like the overall experience. So I would think Dragon Quest 1 for sure.
I just want to throw a couple other titles out there. Like I think Chrono Trigger would be very similar in that sense.
Yeah.
We gotta put that on there.
I think Persona 5 deserves to be on there.
I think Persona 5 does. I think Chrono Trigger has to be on this list.
For sure.
Even though I don't think anybody picked it.
Does Pokemon belong on our top 5 list?
Pokemon, I think, it's massive. If you want to call
I don't think a single title, but I just think Pokemon should be on the top 5 at some point.
Yeah, I would say Pokemon definitely would be. I wouldn't specifically pick one game.
Yeah.
I agree there. We'll put it in at number 5, so it's on there.
Yo, this is tough, bro.
It is.
So
because you have to tie into
Chrono Trigger and Dragon Quest.
And then what's left? I mean, what about Ease, man? What about Persona?
Right? Seriously, I think Persona should go to it, as much as I love Ease.
Yeah, I think Persona should go over.
Persona should be on the list because of its
Well, let's do something. Let's take away the 7. Final Fantasy.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess what we should say is
that makes me happy.
Like the top 5 JRPGs that has a sort of overall appeal to the genre. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
We're including every game. I'd be then happy to put Dragon Quest too.
Yeah, I'd do that.
Yeah,
I would agree. And if we were in Japan, I would flip that around.
Yeah. I think Persona should be number. I think Persona should be number. I think it'd be number 3. No, actually,
Chrono Trigger almost fits in the Final Fantasy category here.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Actually, I think we should move Pokemon up to 4 because I think it's more influential than Final Fantasy. Not Final Fantasy. Sorry, for Persona. Apologies.
Pokemon is literally the most popular franchise in all of history.
So should Pokemon be ahead of Persona?
Yes, I think.
Now, the last one, to me, personally, what I think should be in that category, each one of these series that we mentioned had brought something to the table for a worldwide audience.
Yeah.
So in that respect, I gotta put this. I'm like you earlier when you mentioned this. I gotta say, man, like this. Being honest, Figsy, I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of Demon Souls, but the truth be told, From Software really did. I think that series of that
Dark Souls was made as genre action
RPG. I think really is a big modern day.
It's not a JRPG though.
Yeah,
it's not Japanese.
It's not, but it's but it's an RPG. That's one of the reasons I was like
top 5 RPGs. I would have it at number 1, but it's not RPG.
Okay, well, all right. In this case, then,
it's got to be Kawaii, or it's not on the list.
Well,
let's talk about Big
Xenosaga. I mean, I I can't put Xenosaga because not every Xenosaga game came out worldwide, so I can't put that.
Not only that, but like that one's kind
I
of
don't
more.
think Kingdom Hearts is strong enough because there's only a couple of games. But a series like the Ease series has got 11 titles.
Ease
Yeah,
could be
East
on
is
this list.
East.
massive. East
Could definitely be on this.
Okay, you know what?
Yeah, East
East
is
could
number
be
five.
number five.
Hang on. We got a really good
Zelda.
comment here. If we have Pokemon, you have to have Zelda, and I can't argue against that.
But do you consider Zelda a JRPG though?
Yeah, the thing is, that's the thing. I don't
That's
really
a
consider
huge
Zelda as
argument. A lot of
full-fledged
people don't
JRPG.
think it's.
I don't think it
there's
is.
no leveling up in Zelda.
Yeah, but this is our list, and we're including Pokemon.
Yeah, but you level up your.
Okay, let's really think about this.
Pokemon isn't a straight up RPG. It's like they consider that a different genre. That's like a pet. What do they call it? They have a name for it.
But
Specifically,
collecting.
yeah, pet collector or monster collecting or whatever.
But,
There's like tons of games
Subgenre
like
of
that.
JRPGs.
Yeah.
Technically,
Monster.
I mean, Pokemon.
Now
is
I
called
feel like we're
Pocket
talking about heavy metal now, and we're talking about Swedish
Yeah,
black metal
exactly.
versus Norwegian
Pokemon
black
is
metal.
called Pocket Monsters. All right, so looking at it from a glass half full perspective, we have Final Fantasy for what its groundbreaking achievement, Dragon Quest for its crazy law, and then Persona before it being that underground JRPG that's quirky, unique to what it brings to the genre. Pokemon because of its mass appeal, and I think we need one more that is like the black, the black stepchild, like
Tales series. It should be the Tales series.
Either Tails or Ease. I think Ease because like it's underground.
One of
enough
the action RPGs.
I'd put Tales over Ease myself.
Yeah, I would say Tails.
Yeah,
I would say Tails.
Tales
It's true. Honestly, man, it's hard to pick
series, dude.
That is true. I just have a
Ease
bias
is crazy too. So
yeah, I have a bias because I love the Ease games. So
we're having
you know what I was gonna say, Figgy,
Ease,
though, about East
agreement that
is that
yeah, I'm going for Tails.
what I was gonna say about East, Figsy, is that the reason I would have picked East is every game is tied to a continent and a world. Every story is tied to a different region of the continent overall, and there's not very many games that has it's like a book in video game form. It's so original.
Yeah, it is.
Let's not throw two more IPs out. We got Fire Emblem and Legends of Heroes. Legends of Heroes.
I want to put
in
that
10
on.
years' time will be on everyone's top 5 list.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's a good point. Maybe we should put like Legend of Heroes on there. That's a good point because that series is massive and it is incredibly good.
Which one? Fire Emblem?
And I think you're right, and I definitely think in 10, I think collectability wise, you're gonna be very pleased if you bought all the Legend of Heroes games.
Oh yeah, no,
so too, because I have all of them. So thankfully,
the Legend of Heroes. Yeah,
all but East 1 and 2. I don't have that one, but
I think Legend of Heroes is gonna be one of those games that and it's a sleeper hit now.
Top 5 JRPG IPs. We've got Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, Pokemon, Persona, and Legends of Heroes.
Yeah, if we talk about underground games that are popular, Wild Arms would be on the list.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that brings us to our next segment of this podcast, and that, of course, is the Figsy quiz.
Oh yeah.
Now, the way the quiz works is chat also have their own quiz question. I'm just going to bring up chat's score first. So currently we have 2 people on 2 points. Mario, and Cyrus have both got 2 points. Windy Corner TV, Jimmy J, Jason Trickster, Banfi and Lulu Girl have all got 1 point. First person to get to 5 points will win themselves a video game shipped anywhere across the world. So Forrest and AJ, this isn't for you guys. This is just for chat. Chat, here is your question for the week. Now I need the full title. First person to answer the full title gets the point. Again, this is for chat only. I'll leave it up there for a second for you guys, and then you guys will have the duration of the quiz to guess. Give me 1 second. I'm just getting everything set up. So, guys, we have the quiz champion with us tonight. AJ is undefeated in the Figsy quiz. 3 plays, 3 wins. No one comes close to AJ. So, AJ, being the champ, would you like to go first tonight? Would you like to go second or third?
You know what? Just sorry. I guess I'll go ahead and go first then. Why not?
All right, AJ's going to go first. Joe, you'll be going second tonight, and Forrest will be going third. So tonight we have 12 questions. Once again, big shout out to Pavel and Sylvan for providing all the questions for tonight's quiz. Just want to make sure no one's got the answer yet. All right, let's get into it. Question number 1. All right, so question 1. AJ, this one's for you. Now, AJ, I'm going to show you 4 games. You have to tell me which game is real.
All right. Let's see. Would you actually mind?
Friendship, Touch to Victory, Ja Rule's Rat Factory,
Touch to Victory, and
Bill Taylor's Power Play Darts, and Porn Stars.
That's the most inappropriately named game I've ever heard. Unusual Friendship, Touch to Victory. Don't play that game, children.
What was it? Let's see, it was also the JA. Okay, I'm just trying to read this one. Okay. So you think which one of these is real?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Murder Inc. Interactive.
I'm gonna go with the bottom right, the power play.
The correct answer was Phil Taylor's Power Play is real. AJ takes the first point.
Nice, buddy.
And before we get to the next one, I can confirm that chat have correctly answered the question.
Mario's got his 3rd point with Jet Li. Rise to honor. Congratulations, Mario. You're
Nice,
insane, man.
Wow. You know what's funny? I didn't even see that in the picture. I have beaten that game 3 times. Me and my mom played through that game is hard as heck. That is one of the hardest games I've ever played for a movie-based video game. That game is difficult.
Congrats, Mario. You're on 3 points, and you are leading.
And that, by the way, if you've never played Jet Li Rise to Honor, that's one of the best movie tie-in video games I ever played. It's really good. That's a really good game. I don't like movie-based games, but I like that one.
Question number 2. Joe, this one's for you.
What you got?
How many games,
Mm-hmm.
how many game titles contain in the Nintendo World Championship 1990 cartridge? Is it 3, 4, 5, or 6?
4.
Incorrect. Forrest for the still?
3. Oh wait, you didn't say 3. My bad. Did you say 3? Oh wait. Oh.
So we had Super Mario Brothers, Rad Racer, and Tetris. Forrest takes the point.
Good job.
All right, question number 3. Forrest, this one's for you. What was the module for the Philips VideoBack G7000 second generation, released in 1982? Was it used for a multiplayer adapter, modem, a chess game, or an advanced calculator?
I believe that was for an advanced calculator.
Incorrect. AJ?
Could you please say the name of the device again?
So it's the Philips VideoPack G7000 second generation.
I'm gonna go with the chess game.
And of course, that is for a chess game. All right, moving on. At the end of round number 1, AJ's got an early lead of 2 points. Forrest right behind on 1, and Joe yet to score. Anyone's game at this point goes. So moving on to our second round, and question number 4. What is the name of this device, AJ?
Oh, that's the Sega Mega Jet.
That is the Sega Megajet. All right, moving on to question number 5, and this one is for Joe. What is the name of the series of games on the NES and the SNES which appeared thanks to the Wonder Boy title?
Adventure Island.
They are Adventure Island. Joe takes the point. Moving on to question number 6, and this one is for Forrest. What bear species was on the front cover of a World of Warcraft edition?
Dude, I can visualize the cover, but the name eludes me. I don't know actually. I've seen that picture. I know the picture of the animal, but I'm not too familiar with World of Warcraft. So
It's a species of bear. So if you just want to guess a bear species.
It would not be a polar bear. It would probably be grizzly bear.
Incorrect. AJ?
I'm gonna guess a black bear.
Incorrect. Joe?
I think it was a polar bear.
Incorrect. We were looking for a panda bear.
Well, that
Oh,
makes
wow.
sense because of Pandora.
Yeah, you know, I didn't even think about it. I remember the cover, but I couldn't remember what species.
If you remembered the name, it would have clicked too.
True.
Cyrus to say that he thinks he has a delay. I think that if you're watching on Twitch, you get the stream 5 seconds before YouTube because of how the platforms work. All right, at the end of round number 2, AJ's got himself a lead of 3 points, and Forrest and Joe are behind on 1 point each. The champ has taken an early lead. Are we surprised? All right, let's move on to the round number 3, guys. So we'll move into question number 7, and AJ, this one's for you. American game designer Leonid Borowski was inspired with the appearance of Uncle Pennywags from Monopoly. Name the character that Leonard drew.
now how is this video game related?
The character he drew was in a video game.
Oh, okay. Apologies. Could you please repeat the name of the artist?
So the artist is Leonard Boyosky. He was inspired by Moneybags from Monopoly. What video game character?
Yeah. Oh, this is. I don't even know where to begin with that one. So, I guess we'll go ahead and move it to the next person.
All right, Joe.
It's a video game character he drew that was inspired by this freaking dude.
Yeah, the character looks similar to this guy. It's once you see it, you're all going to be like, ah.
Well, if it isn't the Monopoly guy, the freaking I don't know, Dr. Wily.
It's not Dr. Wily. Forrest, you know this one?
Dude, I don't know, man. I can't picture any character with him that looks similar to him. You got me stumped on this one.
So it is a tough question, but once you see the answer, you're all going to be like, oh, I can see it now. So Leonid Borowski created the Fallout guy.
Oh.
Wow.
You can see the thumbs up is very similar to.
Yeah, I would have
yeah.
never tied to that at all, honestly.
Moving on to question number 8, and this one is for Joe. In the game Star Control for PC and Genesis, the name of the galactic currency coincides with the name of this famous cafe chain founded in 1971. What is the name of the currency in the game?
Starbucks.
Starbucks is correct.
What?
Funny.
Wow.
Come, get at me, bros. It was,
You had to think for that one, but that was good, Joe.
oh, it was like out of space, coffee, stars, bucks. It made sense, dudes.
All right, question 9. Forrest, this one's for you. This game genre was named after the 1999 novel by Japanese writer Koshi Tamiki, in which school children are taken to a desert island, but the surge in popularity of this genre came in 2012 due to the release of the Hunger Game movie. What genre are we talking about?
So it was a new genre created from this, right? So action games have always been around, so it wouldn't be that. Wow. Movie-based games.
Incorrect. AJ for the steal.
Battle Royale.
Correct answer was Battle Royale.
Wow.
And at the end of round 3, Forrest has got 1 point. Joe's moved up to 2 points, but AJ's got a commanding lead of 4 points. It's still anyone's game moving into the final round. I love how confident you were with that answer too.
The only reason I knew it is because I watched the movie based off the book.
The original Battle Royale back in
Yeah.
2001 or something. All right, moving on to the final round. AJ, this one's for you. So the final round is going to be all the picture questions where you have to guess the video game pictures. So AJ, this one's for you.
Oh, God. That's cool.
I think I know this one. Is it going to be I Sing It?
It's not I Sing It.
Oh.
Gosh, what the hell is with Mickey? Why is he standing in front of the freaking Norman Bates house? What the hell is happening in that picture, man? Freaking me out. This whole thing's freaking me out. Dude. I had no idea. Pass.
Forrest?
I was going to say something about Mickey's House of Horrors. I have no idea. I don't know.
Well, AJ was really close. The answer was Disney Sing It.
Oh, man.
Wow.
I think Mickey putting his hands in his eyes.
Yeah.
That's what threw me off. But I never would have got that. That's wow. That's a good one. I like that. Disney Sing It, but the thing what threw it off was him
man.
his eyeballs out.
That was smart.
You know what I was thinking it could have been? Alone in the Dark.
Oh, that
would have
would
been
make
right.
sense.
Because I mean it should have gave it away right there. So
all right, Joe, this one's for you.
Okay, what is that first thing? 4 different pictures? I like the last picture.
Oh, at the end of it.
Is this like all? Okay.
6 different pictures.
You ass. Okay, so what the heck? Dude. There's so much going on right now. God. Dude, no, I don't know. Pass. It's going to take me an hour.
First?
I'm going to...
Oh, I know what it is. God damn it. I know what it is.
I think, is it something like...
God damn it. I'm so angry right now.
Is it...
Damn it.
Is it... Okay, I see a sponge. I see sponge.
I want my turn back.
I see a sponge, and I see this guy. I know his name is Bob, right? And obviously that's square. So SpongeBob. Wait a minute. Is it SpongeBob Square Pants? What sub game would that be? I know it's SpongeBob SquarePants, but these two right here. Let me see.
It's Battle for Bikini Bottom. I'm giving him the fucking point. I don't care. Screw you, AJ.
I knew that.
I was going to figure out eventually.
I just need you to hear you say it first, and I'll give you the point.
Oh, come on, Joe.
I just couldn't think of the sub name. I knew it was SpongeBob SquarePants, but the last part, I was like, what sub game would that have been? But now that makes sense.
All right, last one.
Nice job. You still win, AJ, all right? Calm down.
Yeah. There's no way anyone else can win at this point.
P-E.
Peter Griffin.
J-A-
Damn it! You know that. No.
Wow. I know the guy's name is Peter Jackson's King Kong.
There you go, buddy.
Correct answer is Peter Jackson's King Kong. And at the end of Figsy's quiz, we have a controversial point to Forrest. On my piece of paper, I gave it to you, Joe. But we have today's winner and 4-time champion goes to AJT. Congratulations, AJ.
Wow.
If there's anyone out there that thinks they can beat AJ, let us know and we'll get you on.
Dang, Joe, man. I was so close.
You got it, man. It's fine. I'm sorry. You were close. Second I said pass, I was like, I know it. Damn it. Instantly the second I was like, I don't know it. And then I was like, oh, wait, yes, I do. God damn it.
And once again, big congratulations to Mario. I'll update the points. Mario's 2 points away from the video game now, so you'll have to catch the streams, Mario. We're running over time, guys. We're at an hour 40. Before we started, Forrest, you sent me some awesome artwork that you made.
Yeah, I'm going to be real quick on this, but I do want to talk about this. I didn't get a chance to talk about this in the last video. So anybody who knows me or don't, I'm actually working on my own comic. That's my main character there. And so I've been working out. That's some art from Full Metal Alchemist that I did years ago. And
That's awesome.
that I hand drawn in my art book from 05. That was really difficult. Here's the digital art of my main character. I modernized them. And so I've been working on it for a while. So I do have the story written out. And I do have the actual world that I'm working on. But I've been really trying to buckle down on finishing this comic for some time now. So once I feel more confident to actually show the story portion from the prologue, I'll probably bring it onto the show one day. So,
that'd be awesome.
but yeah, the main character, his name is Magetsu. And in this book that I have right here from some of those pages that Figsy showed, I'm going to show you guys the one I did here. Let's see. So this, what I showed before, the original art that I drew of different variations of him. This book is old. It's worn out from years of using drawing in it. But yeah, I've been working on this for a long time, and I'm hoping that I could finally get around to making it. It's called The Anomaly. So it's got a sub name, but I'm only going to talk about the main name of it. So actually, I'm doing art brush in Studio Clip to paint the character. That's actually what I'm practicing with right now. I have a $1,600 drawing tablet and a portrait tablet I use to draw the environments and the characters. So it's been a lot of fun. But I definitely want you guys. I'm gonna let you guys read it when I get a chance. See what you guys think.
Awesome.
So, and real quick, Joe, I wanted to show this to you real fast. I'm not going to be long on it. This here, this is called Cherry Blossom. It is a visual novel about a high school character who's in this contest to find a suitable person to marry when she gets older. And believe it or not, she's actually the princess of Japan. They don't know that she's like royalty. Mm-hmm. And in this box,
well,
we should do a VN episode sometime too. That's another genre that I bet.
Great.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely a genre I know a little bit about, and I know a lot of people probably.
It comes with these headphones in here.
It'd be a good one.
That's cool.
Oh, that is cool.
Lastly, the visual, the special disc that has all of the, what do they call them, like the audio books of the characters here.
That's cool.
But anyway, yeah, so that's pretty much it. But yeah, hopefully, Fixie, I get around a chance to talk about my comic more. But I wanted to thank you for showing the art to everybody.
That's cool.
No, you're welcome. Thanks for sharing it with us all, man. It's awesome stuff.
Yeah, it looks really
Guys,
good.
let's get into some show and tell before we finish up the show. I only have one piece to show off this week, but it is a new pickup, so I
Nice.
figured I'd bring it along, and I won't pull things out of the shelves. So I don't buy many games these days because I'm pretty much finished with at least for the PS3 anyway. But there are a few games out there that I'm still after, and including in that is slipcovers. I always say I won't get them all, but if I don't own a slipcover, I'd like to own it.
Oh my god, I actually own that one.
That
Yeah,
is
I
a
mean,
cool
I
cover. I
actually
love
have.
that slip
Yeah.
cover.
It was only
right?
released in America, and it's got an
Yeah.
embroidered rage symbol. So the rage is
It's a
actually
real
embroidered.
pretty cover, man. I do like
It
that one.
is.
Embossed. Is that
And
right?
on the back of it, this is interesting. The barcode is actually cut out there. So it's cut out for the barcode. Nice little touch. I bought this off an eBay seller this week, and I got a message on Facebook from one of my friends. It was actually one of my buddies I bought it off. So if
Yeah.
you watch what I'm doing, thanks to the slip cover, it's going in the book.
Nice. Good condition too.
Yeah, beautiful condition. He sent it in a box too. We didn't have to do that, and I appreciated it. Who would like to go next?
Can I go next if at all possible?
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
go for it.
I know we're going low on time. I picked up a lot of stuff. Should I just grab some of the highlights from it then?
Yeah. Show
Or,
something cool.
okay, cool. Before getting the pickups, I do have one I don't want to show off on show and tell. And I got this as a present from my significant other years
Oh.
ago.
Very nice.
And I just love
Very
the story
nice.
behind it. When they first moved in, they're like, yeah, pick out any game you want, and I'll buy it for you. And this is when I picked. This is before it became a really high end game, but I will always cherish that. And then I have something I think super neat: a signed copy of Final Fantasy VII Remake, and it's signed by the voice actor for Barrett.
That's
Very
cool.
nice, man.
So now, in regards to the pickups, I have quite a lot.
I loved that remake, by the way. I hope
Oh,
you
it
did.
was great. It was
I'm very, very excited for the next installment.
So a local game store, they got ironically they got a monster lot of RPGs in like right before this podcast. So this is some of what I picked up. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna try to rush this, but Wild Arms, Alter Code F, out of the way. Oops.
That's a really nice pickup, man. That's
And
a rare game.
It is, and
You
this-
don't see that very often.
check it out. Even has the anime disc.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah,
I
I
love
actually
that.
I actually got Alter Code F like some months ago.
And
I had
then,
to pay a pretty substantial amount of money for it though.
yeah.
Yeah, the PSP game is expensive too.
Yeah,
but
it is.
those are the last two I needed to complete that set.
Was it Alter Code F? I think. No, I'm sorry. It's called XF or something weird name.
Yeah, it's like XX
Yeah.
or something like that.
So these are the next two I picked up: Suikoden 3 and
Nice.
5.
Nice.
So
I had a chance to buy 5 this week, but the guy wanted $80 for it. And it's the same price on eBay, so I passed.
and then I picked up.
You could find it cheaper, dude.
Oh yeah,
For
picked
sure.
up Fatal Frame
Nice.
Very nice.
and more on the PS2 here. Drakengard.
Nice.
Oh, very nice. I've been meaning to
Yeah.
Price
pick that one up.
crazily.
Now this is where it gets crazy, guys. I use a lot of trading credit for this next stack.
All right. Oh, I see a working designs box.
Yeah, all black. Check this out, Joe. You're gonna be.
Hey, have a good night, John.
Night, John.
This is the insides on this are still so
Yeah.
new. It even has the
Oh
paper
wow.
slip and everything.
So you
is
still have all
there.
the little buttons. Yeah.
Yeah.
See those little buttons? That's the reason I didn't buy this, Mike. The copy that
Yeah.
I saw. Some dude had a-
Mine's AJ that I have is not even messed with either. My stuff is actually wrapped still. The only
That's
thing not is
awesome.
the game.
some dude. This was a long time ago. There's a little game store. And some guy had that for sale for $90, and I said nah because it was missing the buttons. And now I'm like, I kind of wish I bought it.
I don't blame you on that one, man.
$90?
Next
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
wish I bought it.
Next up, Xenogears. I fell in love with Xenosaga, so I got to pick this up. Unfortunately, I did not know this. I didn't notice until I brought it home. But unfortunately, someone ruined the UPC.
Oh.
Yeah, that bummed me
Oh.
out. Oh, yeah, it bummed me out.
Yeah, you know what? I could take that over. You know that just having the. I got a game like that in my collection. Like one of my games is like that. I can overlook that to a
Yeah.
point.
I just wish I knew about it, before I.
Yeah.
Anyways, Vagrant Story.
Nice.
You just got all of these? This is some really
Yeah,
nice
yep.
pickups, man.
Oh, thank you.
It's quality stuff.
Hishigami Ruining Blue Earth, I believe is how you pronounce this one. This is
Yeah, I've never
100%
played that one. That's one I don't have.
Jade Cocoon,
I've been trying to find Jay Cocoon for a long time. Still,
Alundra with the
Nice.
map.
Nice, dude.
All right. And let's see. How are we doing on time? I have a few more here. I can
Fine.
narrow it down to one if we need to.
You're good. You're good.
All right. Star Ocean.
Show off all the goodies. This is what the people came for.
I like how
they want to see them games.
$200 games.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
Perfect.
you pretty much picked up my entire PS1 RPG collection.
Got like half a second of screen.
Gosh, man.
Yeah. I was telling you guys earlier before the podcast started that
And I don't have this one. This one you actually heard me a little bit. I don't have. I want
Azure
this. Really.
Dreams.
I want that too. Azure Dreams is another one I need to get.
If you show Valkyrie profile, I'm kicking you off the stream.
Unfortunately, no, I don't have that one.
Okay.
But
all right.
I did pick
I'm
up
just kidding.
Dino Crisis on the Dreamcast.
On the Dreamcast too. Very cool.
That's the best version of Dino Crisis. Is that one.
You're upside down. There you go, buddy.
Bangai-O.
That game's so good, dude. I just actually been playing that this week.
And then we're almost done. I have one more. I have two more here. Okay, three. My apologies. Picked this up the other day. My Girlfriend is a Mermaid on the PS4. This is a visual novel.
Oh yeah, I heard about that
You
one.
didn't say it right. Have you watched Jordan from Switch Watch? Nobody knows. He's supposed to say, my girlfriend is a mermaid. That's how he always says it.
I got that. Now, I also picked up this bad boy. So I was only able to get this because all this stuff because I traded my collection to the store. So with a whole collection, but
that's to say you got some choice PS1 titles there, friend. Azure Dreams is not cheap.
No, but
I had surgery this week and I took a kidney.
exactly. But
it's got a box.
Genesis,
Model
and
2,
this is a rare version that has the 6 games included bundle. So
nice.
Now I have a few more, but I'm gonna go ahead and cut it short with the best. It's in the best for last. I picked this up before this big trade event, but Persona 2.
Oh, there it is.
And this is minus like a little crack right here. This thing is like gem mint, dude.
That's very nice, man.
Sorry about rushing through a lot of the bigger games. We're a limited on time. I was trying to.
You're good, friend.
So I make my pickups over in Discord, and he said I got permission to share them on the show. So there's some awesome pickups from Cyrus as well this week.
Look at that.
That's nice, dude.
I know Cyrus is working on the full Switch set, so that's why we see so many.
Very nice. Very nice.
I didn't know Bumbo came out, and I need to get that Kids on Site game too. That's one of the only FMV games I skipped. I need to get that.
So I'm gonna be real quick on mine because I showed that other one real fast, but I want to show you guys the Chinese edition of Gran Turismo 6 that I got. So I already took it out the bag, but I absolutely love this box of Gran Turismo 6.
I love the blue of it. It looks awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So
really nice.
It's a real nice material box. Very, very well made. Here's the cover for the game.
No ratings on it. Best looking cover.
Yeah, that works so much better.
Yep, this is the Chinese version. I absolutely love it, man. I love it. And then the best thing of all is this book right here. Look at the glitter on the.
That's cool.
The book. You see how it's got that kind of texture.
That's cool.
And on the inside of it has all the information on all the cars of all the vehicles in the game. The stages, the settings for vehicles, like aerodynamics for all the cars. This book is outstanding, man. It's like it's one of them. Absolutely love this. Actually, the game on the inside of it.
It's sealed, isn't it?
Oh, I never opened it. Never mind. I can't open it. I've never opened it.
What are you doing?
Stop. Stop.
No, I'm not going to. I haven't opened it. I'm not going to open it. Never mind. But yeah, but no,
this cover live.
Huh? I just forgot I had never opened this one. But anyway, but yeah. But I love this box, man, a lot. This is really cool, though. Absolutely, man. So that's it. That's the only 2 games I got for show and tell. Was just that one and this one.
What do you got first, Jim?
So, just so happens in honor of RPG Day, I actually have, and I only have 2 things too, but I've been meaning to pick this up, and it was on sale, so I finally picked it up. So I got the Tales of Symphonia Remastered.
Very nice.
Oh, yeah, I got a PS4 release.
Yeah, I mean, I own it on PS3, and I think I also own it on the Wii or the GameCube or something. I can't remember. I think I owned it.
Oh,
GameCube.
no, it was on both. Yeah, it was on both.
Yeah.
I think I own it on the GameCube. I'm pretty sure. My GameCube collection's in a box somewhere, so it's hard to say. But I picked it up again because basically just because I have all the other PS4 Tales games, and I have a problem like that. You know what I mean? When I have like a little subset, if they like release more, I'm like, well, I gotta get that one too. You know what I mean? But no, I'll probably end up selling my PS3 copy just because I don't need all of those now. And my other pickup, surprise, surprise, it's a shmup.
Nice.
Oh, Jets and Guns too. I heard that's really good.
Hit that one up.
I haven't played it because I just got it today, and it looks freaking amazing. Like, I don't know if you can really see the back very much, but the art style is absolutely insane. Like, it looks just like a freaking explosion of crazy disco-ness or something. Like, it's just so colorful, and there's so much going on, and it's really like really stimulating and everything. And yeah, just the deluxe edition came out from Red Art Games. It was actually cool. I tweeted about it, and they actually retweeted me today.
Well, nice.
So my tweet got some traction, which is kind of cool.
That's what's up.
But yeah, if you're into shmup collecting, I would not miss this one. And if you're specifically into like getting Red Art stuff, this is like looks like it's going to be their best shmup so far, I think. But yeah, it is a PAL exclusive. Yeah, for right now, right now, this is only available from Red Art Games. I'm sure that Video Games Plus will have some copies because they usually pick up Red Art Game stuff from there as well.
Did you guys
And
see sorry.
there's a PS5 copy as well, and I do not think there's a Switch copy, which is irritating because I would love to have it on the Switch as well. I know, and that sticker's sick, dude. I don't even want to open it. Look at that deluxe edition sticker. Yeah, dude, it's on the outside. That's why I want.
Oh man,
that's why I want a Switch copy so bad, so I can open that bad boy and play it, and then I'll just keep this on the shelf, nice and sealed and pretty. So you know what I may do is and they do have a PS5 version, and for some reason I care more about my PS4 collection. I don't know why. Like my PS5 collection's like my adopted stepchild or something. I'm like, oh, I love you, but just not the same. You're just not. It's not like my original child. Like, I love you. You know, I'll take you to your soccer games or whatever. But you know,
I won't pick you up.
Yeah,
you got 2 of them.
You're getting less in the will than the other kids. You know? No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. That's really dark.
But guys, AJ, I know you've started a new YouTube channel.
Yes.
Tell us all about it. Where people can find you.
All right. Well, in regards to the YouTube channel, it's Atari Fanboy 1977. I'm only on one video so far that's showcasing my standard release PS Vita collection so far. I'm going for a full set, and I want to document that. And that'd be a very fun thing just to show, progress and whatnot there. I'm also on Instagram. It's the same thing, Atari Fanboy 1977. I believe it has an underscore at the beginning though. So
I've got links in the description, guys. So be sure to go and give AJ a follow on his new YouTube channel and over on Instagram. And Forrest, you also have a YouTube channel as well. You're muted at the moment, sorry, man.
Sorry, my bad. Yeah. So my YouTube channel is Forrest Gaming Redux. I do game reviews over there. Gaming Room Tour recent, and as well as I did a video on the PlayStation Plus price increase. But yeah, you can catch me there. My Twitter or X Twitter is Forrest_reviews. So if you want to follow me there on Twitter, gaming pickups or anything that I can quickly talk about, I'll post there. And Joe, for you, inside that game I showed earlier, there is that little PSP or sticker thing to put
Oh,
on.
that's
Cool.
freaking
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Dude.
But yeah, so that's where you guys can follow me for anything JRPG related, news wise. I got everything set up. This camera that I'm using right now will be for my live streaming going forward, and as far as doing news topics. So I should be starting it next weekend.
And moving forward, guys, on Sunday, we're going to have another early show for Americans. We have Joel coming on as a guest, and Joel is a collector from Mexico. So we're going to hear all about the experiences he has collecting in Mexico. He's our first guest from Mexico on the show, so it should be really good. Looking forward to having Joel on the show. And Joel is actually the first ever member of the PS3 group over on Facebook. So
Oh, that's cool.
a little bit special.
That
there.
is really cool. So this is going to be midnight Eastern Standard Time on Saturday, 9
Yeah,
p.m.
for you,
Pacific.
For you, 2 p.m. for Australian.
Okay. So U.S.
9
people, it should be
p.m.
9 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Central, midnight Eastern.
And then the following week, we will have another European show. So we haven't forgot about you Europeans. We just haven't had any guests that want to come on the show. So if there's anyone watching from Europe that is bummed out that there's no EU shows, hit me up to come on the show.
That's
and
fair.
We'll booked in.
We're not. Yeah, I mean, if you Europeans would like to have shows, you have to come on the show. That's.
I will say this real quick, Figsy. If I'm on next time, I will have my Fire Emblem over there with the Fire Dragon light display working. So I will show that next time.
All right.
So. And don't forget, AJ is now 4-0 in the quiz, guys. So if there's
whatever.
anyone out there that thinks they can beat AJ,
It's all luck. It's all luck.
I can
It is.
announce that who wants to be a game collector will be premiering on YouTube soon. So keep your eyes out for a full series on my channel, unrelated to the podcast, full half-an-hour episodes. It's going to be awesome. Keep your eyes out for that. As always, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Everybody.
Have a good one.
You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation collecting nerds, and come on, won't you stay with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. Let's show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Gonna talk again when we got the fans. Gonna put their knowledge to the test. Gonna laugh and eat, gonna live the dream, gonna show you.